Good Time is the new film from Josh and Benny Safdie. Robert Pattinson stars as a small-time criminal who attempts to get his mentally impaired brother out of prison after a bank robbery goes wrong. Manola Dargis of the New York Times called the film pure cinematic pleasure about an often funny, sometimes shocking rush into the abyss. Here's a look at the trailer. Joining me now, the two filmmakers, Josh and Benny Safdie, and star Robert Pattinson. I'm pleased to have all of them here at this table for the first time. Well, great to have you here.
Honor to be at the table
in
the abyss.
Yes, there it is. This is a step up for you. Tell me, a sense of how it is that, and what you hope to accomplish in this film.
Yeah, well, we've been basically on a highway trying to make this film that takes place in the Diamond District, not far from actually this studio. And we've been trying to make that film for 7 years, maybe. It's changed a bunch, and that was always kind of like this end destination. I have a cigar in my house and a bottle of Prosecco that someone gave me, and they said, pop it open and light the cigar when you're ready to celebrate. And I think that when I die, the cigar will be put in my grave, and the bottle of champagne will be poured on the dirt, because ultimately we're never going to find reason to really celebrate. But I think that when Rob reached out to us and said, "Hey, I would like to do whatever you're doing next," and we realized he wasn't.
An interesting offer.
It was, yeah. But he wasn't right for the other project, so and so began Good Time, the project. Good Time. It was from a pool of interests and inspirations. But the idea was, okay, we have, an actor we respect, a movie star, which will come with an audience to some degree, and we wanted to kind of make a piece of popcorn film, but a piece of termite art, like Manny Farber's termite art, where that people can consume, and these termites will kind of get inside of them and kind of force their way into your psyche after the movie and make you ask questions. Well, why did this happen? Why did this happen?
So when you called them and said, "I'd like to make a film with you," I mean, what was it about them? Because you seem to be a big star who likes the idea of finding really creative, small roles.
I don't know if I'm a big star.
Okay.
I'm just kind of...
Or they may not be small roles either.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to surprise myself, and it's just finding original material is pretty tough.
But do you think I'll get it there? If I go to them, I'm more likely to get the kind of material that interests me.
Yeah, well, I mean, initially it was just intuition. I mean, I literally knew nothing about their work. I'd just seen a still from their last movie, and from that was the only thing. And I just kind of knew, and then I met them, and they have a very dynamic energy and conversation. And when I saw the trailer for their last movie, and I wanted to do something which was kind of electric and kinetic, and they're kind of the masters of that.
Who is Connie?
Connie, God, how do I describe this? You had the best description of it, saying he's a romantic psychopath.
Who's a romantic psychopath who's panicked.
Yeah, definitely. He's kind of having a bad day.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a small time kind of criminal from Queens, who he gets obsessed and fixated with his relationship with his younger brother, who's kind of mentally challenged.
And he doesn't want to talk about that or recognize that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to recognize it at all. And that was one of the major things I loved about the story was an early moment in the movie. Connie breaks his brother out of his psychiatrist's office, and they're in a place where there's a lot of mentally handicapped people, and because Connie is the way he is, he refuses to accept that his brother could have anything wrong with him because they share the same blood. I mean, he's a narcissist at the same time, but I've seen that happen in with people who have a sibling who has issues to deal with, and the sibling, maybe it's because their parents had to give a lot more attention to the other child or something. Like it really enrages another sibling, and I always thought it was a really interesting and kind of very difficult family relationship to have.
When I saw it, I thought this is a film about brotherly love too.
Mm-hmm. Sure, in some regard, for sure.
It's.
I mean, or is it something else? I mean, is it?
Well, it's interesting because when you take this idea of brotherhood and the fact that Connie is trying to break his brother out of this situation, it almost overshadows everything else and all the bad things he does.
Because he feels some responsibility.
Exactly, but you as an audience, you're watching it, you don't realize that he put his brother in that situation in the first place. But you're moving so fast and at such a speed on his wavelength that you can't even stop to be like, wait, it's moving at that speed. So you're like, what's going on? Why did I just do that? Why am I going along with this? And
Connie has, Connie's character. The backstory is that he was released from prison on good behavior, and he's released on his good time. And while he was in prison, like a lot of people, who do time, they kind of adopt almost like a born again quality, or they become extremely romantic in their ideas, and then they're kind of reindoctrinated into society, and they're not equipped. The penal system isn't designed to rehabilitate anyone, really. So while he's in prison,
that's why we have so much recidivism.
Exactly, and actually we had the former Connecticut commissioner who appears in our movie, who is like led the lowest recidivist rate in the country. Side story, but he appears in the jail sequence. But Connie has kind of developed this idea while he's in prison that that everything that is holy to him is his brother, and his brother represents a purity that he wants to tap back into, and he has this romantic idea that he's going to rob this bank and they're going to go live on a farm forever. Right. Now, and he has a scorn for institutional America and the bureaucratic trappings of America, and he doesn't wholly, and I agree with Connie in this regard, he wholly disagrees with the idea that you can change the brain from the outside. You can do it through questionnaires, through basically observation, and through exercises, menial exercises. Right. And he thinks, if I can just change it from the inside, and the only way to change it from the inside is through experience, then I can induce some sense of independence in my brother and his brother. And, the idea of that is very strong. The execution maybe is a little questionable. Bringing him to rob a bank with him is not the best idea.
So this more than a character study. This is a movie with a message.
In a way, I mean, like when I say termite art, that's that is the overarching, that we wanted something that you can consume, something that's entertainment first, and then afterwards you start to ask yourself, well, wait a second, why did that happen?
Yeah.
Why were the only two people in the park being arrested of color? Why are women treated in the way that they are in this movie? Why is the brother? What is happening at the end of the movie when we're left with this emotional kind of wallop? Just because we're being reminded of how the handicapped are treated in this world.
I think, just the very fact that you're moving at his speed and you're hitched onto Connie's point of view, and you believe what Connie believes, but you don't have the time to think about it. That it's only after you leave the theater that you can ask yourself these questions, and they're important questions, and they're one we want you to ask.
And some understanding of why he thinks the way he does.
Exactly.
Sure. I mean, it's a reflection of society, and if once you reflect anything back to a group of people, messages occur. And sometimes, Norman Mailer was the king of this.
And sometimes the way you can get the best reflections is by focusing on a very specific person in society, somebody who's breaking those rules. If you focus on them, it'll shine a light on everything else.
How did you try to shape him in terms of what you did for research, what you did in terms of who you wanted to see, what you wanted to visit, how you wanted to, feel the character?
I mean, one of the great things about this is that the script wasn't finished when we started developing it. So Josh and Ronnie, the co-writers, they would send me little chunks of backstory or just sequences, and most of the sequences they sent me over the preceding 9 months or something before I even went to start proper pre-production aren't even in the movie. I mean, they're just I just saw just the writing process and kind of the world and just what they wanted to draw from, really, and then started getting a voice, and then
a voice, how he sounded.
Yeah, and I think that was when. Also, it's funny because people are talking about doing an accent, and normally you have a script and you try and kind of paste your accent or figure out how to say if something was just written in a standard American accent. But with this, I mean, they're from Queens. Everybody's from Queens, and. I think it's written in a Queen's dialect, and so kind of it starts to it's fun to say in that accent. But in terms of research and stuff, me and Benny, I mean, for one thing, we spent multiple days sort of just improvising, kind of in character in the real world, and Dunkin' Donuts and Yonkers, and kind of got jobs in a car wash, and which was sort of fascinating. I've never done anything like it before.
And how many people recognized you when you came to wash their car?
Zero, like the entire time. Yeah, and we almost, like, there was a moment as well when Benny. I mean, we were kind of trying to play up the kind of family drama in the car wash, and Benny's kind of like looking like he's going to start snapping people's windscreen wipers off and throwing wax at people and stuff. And we kind of got into a little fight there, but like no one had any idea we were doing like, it's just two actors doing like a bit. But it definitely got close to the.
It felt real, and there was a moment when Rob kind of grabbed me and to kind of stop me from doing some of those things, and we weren't thinking about the movie. We were just thinking about just being these people.
Right. Thinking in the moment.
Exactly, thinking in the moment. And when he grabbed me, I just kind of like seized up and I almost like threw him against a wall. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening here? But he felt that too. And it just became internalized. And it's not in the movie, but these textures of things and being in his performance and everything.
It's interesting doing these performances when you're not doing it for an audience or for a camera. I mean, it definitely feels like you feel kind of crazy and you feel like there is an element of danger to it because there's no one watching. And so you're literally just doing it for each other and you're like, it's crazy.
You know, what's interesting, go ahead. What's interesting about that to me is it seemed to me if you as a director could create that kind of feeling on a set, that's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were, in developing his character was as informative for him as it was for me. You know, me and my partner Ronnie, we spent so much time writing this character's backstory, and we realized we couldn't overlook 3 months of his life because we're trying to show basically a world that exists this day and age, and we couldn't write. This is a very plot-heavy movie, and we couldn't figure out what this character did unless we knew everything about him. So in the process, we write this insane, basically, psychiatric portrait of this guy Connie with all these landmarks, and he's questioning all these little details. And then when he comes to New York, we're sitting with people from Fortune Society. We're sitting with, we're going on walking tours of local legends and these weird petty crimes they kind of enacted in, and we're going to jails. And he's going to jails in character, but the character couldn't speak yet, so he never spoke a word the whole tour of Manhattan Detention Center. It was, all these things were like, were definitely done for his benefit, but they ended up being duly, productive.
And of course, we wanted to incorporate that into the set that we had. You know, we wanted that feeling of just kind of, even though we had permission to shoot at these places, we wanted there to be an element of danger that we necessarily didn't have permission. If everything went wrong, would we still have it, And I think that hopefully it comes across in Rob's performance, and it comes across in just the texture of the feeling of these places.
Have you ever seen any of the films by John Alpert? He made,
sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
He was at PBS when I was there. I started a long time ago at PBS with Bill Moyers, and he was there. And what was amazing about him is he went to Cuba. I mean, he was the first guy I know to go to Cuba. But this is like in the 70s.
Okay.
You know.
Amazing. Yeah. Have you ever seen Life of Crime, an HBO film that he did?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was also, we showed that downtown at a theater called Metrograph, and we showed it yesterday and did a Q&A with him, and it was, I think people watching that movie who have seen Good Time can see, that was like one of the first things, because he was in Ireland shooting Lost City of Z, so I'm trying to bring the characters to him. Yeah. I'm sending him Executioner Song with Nora Mailer, I'm sending him In the Belly of the Beast, and I'm sending him John Alpert films. Right, and so you can see these things and feel these things. So
the style, the camera style you use, I mean, define it for me and tell me what it adds to the movie.
Well, we've been working for the past we've been making feature films for 10 years, and we've basically been in a room, a closed door, be like, not now, Dad, in a weird way, like, as like teenagers in a weird way, we wouldn't let anyone in, and we were making these movies in a kind of adolescent fashion, but we were figuring they were getting released, and we were able to support ourselves with commercials, but we were using our features to kind of hone our craft basically and get deeper and deeper into how we want to speak. And we've developed, on the previous film, we've developed this kind of enamored effect with the long lens, with the what it does when it feels like you're pushing in on someone's personality, someone's soul almost. And we got almost perversely obsessed with it with our last one. But then we thought, okay, we're going to do a thriller. We want it to actually be thrilling. We want it to feel like at any point real cops could come in. So we wanted to heighten that with a certain level, a certain kind of mise en scène, a certain way of shooting it. We kept things in close up a lot, and it helps add, I think, to the tension that an audience can be feeling walking through the movie.
And how did you want to shape him beyond what you saw in the text? I mean, what was it? What were you looking for to create your own image of him?
I mean, what was I looking for? I mean, there's definitely...
Part of him is a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of...
He's a loving brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of... I was always kind of interested in you know, you can say you love someone, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything to the target of your love.
Yes,
and like,
yes.
and it's kind of...
Was that true here?
Yeah, I mean, I think they both. I think Connie has sort of decided. I mean, part of the backstory is that they have been quite estranged for years, and it's whilst Connie was in prison, he just gets fixated on his brother, who he hasn't seen for 12 years. I mean, and just comes out of prison, and he's just at full speed loving him. But he has no idea.
That's an interesting backstory.
Yeah, and he has no idea who he is really at all, and
can't see who he is,
and refuses to see who he is, even when it's right in his face. Like, he just says the only thing he has, you know, definitely Connie's just a lonely person, and the loneliness has suddenly hit him, and he doesn't know quite how to process it. And the only thing he really has is just a sibling, and that's it, because the rest of his family is just like clearly has nothing to do with him. But yeah, he doesn't actually want to love his brother for his brother. He just loves him because it's his. He's his.
So when did each of you decide that you wanted to be in films? When did you know you... were you 7?
No. I mean, I fell into it sort of by accident. Which I'm pretty happy about, because it's like every year that goes by, I get more and more invested into it, and I don't think I'll ever really get sick of it, because it just seems
more
like...
invested in it in order to sort of to try as best you can to master it, knowing that in the end you'll never master it.
Yeah,
Master.
But it's just sort of... Because I think the only thing I've ever really been fighting against is that fear of the feeling like an imposter, and the fear of just fear invoking.
Do you have any of that feeling?
Oh my God! I mean, that's the only thing. That's literally the only thing I'm ever doing. Is literally I find a script. I have that one burst of inspiration, which when I first saw the still of theirs and met them, and I was like, I mean, when I first met you, I don't know what you guys felt, but I feel extraordinarily confident in the first meeting, and I'm like, yeah, I can do anything. Yeah. And then almost immediately afterwards, it's like, actually, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I can't do anything. I'm just some random guy. Yeah. And you do sort of get addicted to that feeling, but I don't know. I mean, I love the world. I love people who are interested in telling stories. Yeah. And I mean, it's like on a job like this, like we're working, 18-hour days every single day. Yeah. No one minds. Like, it's like no one's being paid anything. It's just crazy. There's no other industry which is just, people are so invested in it. And, yeah.
But right. Okay, that's right. That's great to know. Yeah, we got paid. Yeah. They got free lunch.
Second.
But I mean, what's interesting about that is that it's not just in acting, but in so many professions, in my own as well. I mean, people say they know, and they're doing good work, and they know they're good, but they somehow think, I'm not as good as they think I am. Or they say, if they only knew how much I don't know. Right?
Yeah. Luckily, most people don't say I'm that great.
Every time he would do a great take, it would be like, that was really great. I thought it built on it. And then he would just be like, he would look at us like we were foreigners. We weren't speaking his language.
Like, what do you know? Or like, what do you...
Well, there was this
why
guy,
do you say that?
Just in disbelief. Like, you're
disbelief.
lying to me.
Yeah,
you're a liar. Like, you're lying to me.
He didn't believe that.
Now, why is that?
I don't know. Yeah. He's been in therapy about it, but I mean, what I love about working with guys like these guys, they can just charge up a scene so much. So it's as if you're playing music or something. I mean, it's when I used to play music when I was younger, and just the whole point is to get disoriented and completely lost. But like most of the time, people take such a long time setting up another take, and there's so much discussion and blah 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 like, all the time. It's just it's impossible to stay at the same level of intensity. But I mean, I love, you do another take and it's just rolling the dice, and hopefully something will come out, and every single time it feels like you're gambling, it feels like anything could happen, and it's, yeah, that's the kind of fun part.
I think that's the creative
Well,
process.
we want to catch up to the movie always. We want to feel like we can, that this is life, or this is the story that you've created, and you just want to get up right up against it. It's like in the subway in New York City, and every once in a while you get the express train and the local train are kind of running at the same speed, and you can see in to the, you know that feeling?
Sure.
Yeah, and you can see, and all of a sudden you get the window, and someone will give you the finger, or someone will say what have you. But like that moment right there, that's kind of like us making a movie. We just want to sidle up against the local train, or vice versa, the local and the express, and just capture.
It's literally, it's like once you kind of push that rock off the cliff, and it just keeps going. We just are riding that all the way down, and with the full speed and velocity, you know, that's what we want to we want to bottle that energy up and throw it onto the screen.
I do think that there's a book that every aspiring actor should read. And we've been reading online for promotional stuff for A24. It's this book that I found in the evidence section of the NYPD, called Disguise Techniques Fool All of the People Some of the Time. And it's basically a book on acting. It's up there with Stanislavski. It's amazing.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's for
you
con
just
men.
sold a bunch of books.
It's 1 penny on Amazon. 1 penny.
Is that right?
I bought it for 1 penny when I saw it on this evidence
And what's
website.
the title again?
Disguise Techniques Fool All of the People Some of the Time. And it's basically how to con groups of people, and
So
it
it's
talks
as good as any acting book you've ever seen.
I really think so. I mean, it talks about this idea of non-being, and it's deep. It's a deep book but it's a deep book with a purpose. It's like, try to sneak into this group and fool these people into giving you a job, or try to steal some. It's a book for criminals. Really is a book for criminals. Back when there used to be books that you can
People
buy.
trying to get a job.
Yeah. People trying to get a job.
What's next for you?
We're doing a movie in the Diamond District. We've been trying to make that.
Another New York movie.
Another New York. One day we'll get out of New York. It's
you
called
keep-
Uncut Gems, and it's a thriller that takes place in the Diamond District. But it's kind of a more. It takes place in the bling culture, and and it's more of a Schadenfreude. It's similar, but not. It's also a much funnier movie, and we're doing that with Scorsese and Scott Rudin, and it's like this wild, beautiful thing, and Jonah Hill is going to play the lead, and
Did
it's
they choose you, or did you choose them?
Scorsese saw our Heaven Knows What, and said our names, and we were like ready to commit suicide.
That was it right there.
Yeah, and Scott
Have you
got
seen the
involved
Safdie
reading the
Brothers?
script, and it's been the text. We've been working on it for 7 years, so I better
So
be.
what's
wow.
Marty doing?
He's an executive producing it. Yeah.
Okay. And you? What's next?
I'm working with a director called Claire Denis, French director who's one of my all-time favorites, doing a sci-fi movie with Juliette Binoche.
In France?
In Germany, in Cologne. It's all set on a spaceship.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's like a kind of very sci-fi art house.
Wow.
You know that the French, they call all of the lead actors of their movies, they're just called the hero. No matter what they do, they're the hero.
The hero.
Yeah, it's so romantic, right?
It is.
Yeah.
I like that. I've always wanted to go to Cologne. My father was in World War II during the Battle of the Bulge, and he was part of a team of people that recaptured Cologne.
Oh, wow.
And I've never seen Cologne.
They didn't touch the cathedral, right? That was a very important thing.
Right. Congratulations. It's great to meet you guys.
Thank you very much.
And, too. And Robert, too, as
Thanks
well.
a lot.
Thank you
Nice
for
to meet
coming.
you too.
Come back.
Thanks for
anytime.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.